Hello everyone, how are you doing? I'm just checking everything is working fine, making sure you can hear me right. Let me check everything. Okay, let's go. So I hope you are all doing great. Thanks so much for joining me for this workshop. It's awesome to be spending this time with you guys. I love sharing my knowledge with business owners to help them grow and thrive. So first of all, just to make sure we're on the same page, every day there will be a time for the Q&A right after the training. So if you have any question, you can ask them in the comments and I'll answer at the end of this training. Also, you get access to additional files to help you build your sequence inside the Facebook group, so make sure to check them out to get the best result. And as you can guess, I'm really not from the US or the UK or Australia. I see there are people from Australia in this group and it's awesome. I'm actually from France. But I lived 1 year in the US, Memphis to be more precise, and I've always worked with companies from the US. I used to be a HubSpot partner agency. HubSpot is the leading inbound marketing company for those who don't know. And I would do marketing consulting and planning for big companies before I chose to work specifically with small business owners. Simply because it's what I like the most. So it's great to be here to teach you some of this stuff. But more importantly, I'm kind of really excited for you that are here listening to this live stream, because some of the things that we're going to talk about today through this workshop, quite frankly, have had a real profound impact on my own business and also on my client businesses. So when I'm going through these things and setting up the context for you and then kind of getting into the things that are actionable, there are things that I've really gone ahead and done myself. Okay, so I really understand the best practice when it comes to how you can get the best results out of this in really the shortest time possible. So obviously, this workshop is sharply focused on implementing what I'm going to teach you. And you'll be pleased to know that if you are worried that you've got to write a lot of emails or you have got to come up with some kind of elaborate strategy, or maybe you're worried about the offer that you've got to put together, well, the good news is I've done a lot of that heavy lifting for you. You will be receiving an email every day during the workshop. So please take time to read it carefully and work on its content. You will be receiving an email template every day and you'll just have to follow the instruction to make it yours, so that by the end of the workshop, you will have a complete email sequence running for your business. So I've been in the game for over 15 years now, and I've learned a thing or two about what works when it comes to creating effective email campaigns. I've taken all of the knowledge and experience and put it together for you in the form of templates, blueprints, and swap files. I know that writing copy for your own business can be tough, so especially when it comes to getting results and engaging your audience. That's why I've put all of these tools together for you so you can get started quickly and easily. And if you're feeling a little intimidated by the thought of writing your own email campaigns, don't worry, I've got your back. So let's get started. But before we dive in, I just want to ask a quick question. Who here relies on emails to generate customers for their business? Let me know in the comments. And for those of you who are already seeing results with email, I'd love to hear about your strategy in the comments as well. Let's learn from each other. Use the comments as much as you want. I'm really here to listen to you. It's just not just me talking to you. I really want to hear from you too. So use the comments and use the group to share everything that you need to share to ask all your questions. Okay, so you have a couple of options when it comes to email marketing. Option 1, you're just starting out and don't have an email list yet. Don't worry, we'll cover everything you need to know to grow your email list. And option 2, you've already been doing some lead generation activities and have collected some information from potential customers. Maybe you've been offering a lead magnet or freebie in exchange for their contact information. Whether it's a lead magnet video series, maybe it's a webinar, you've been collecting information over a period of time, and the chances are you have a list of people. Now, that list, how many of you have all of those people brought from you? Probably none of you. I know I haven't, and I don't have a huge list, but I know that although we'd love for our list to just be more customers than non-customers, the reality is for most people doing digital marketing today, the truth is people just don't buy right away. That's the truth. They only buy when they're ready, not when you want to make a sale, right? So I know it can be tough to convert leads into customers. But don't worry, we'll be talking about how to turn those leads into loyal customers in no time. So whether you're just starting out or you're looking to improve your current strategy, I've got you covered. Building a relationship with your potential customers is key. It's important to constantly make offers that are tailored to their needs, and when the timing is right, they will come to you to solve their problems. Most likely, they came to you in the first place because they had a problem and they thought you could help them. They were trying to move from their current situation to their desired situation, but something got in the way and they didn't take action. And that's why we end up with a list of unconverted people. But that's also an opportunity for us to continue to follow up with them, present different offers that might be more relevant to them, and hopefully convert them into customers. There are a lot of things to consider when putting together a campaign and a sequence and messaging, and a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. But don't worry, once again, we'll be covering the principle that you need to follow to do it in the best way for them and also for you. So let's dive in and dispel some of the popular beliefs, and I'm going to lay out very specifically the principles that you need to follow. And just out of interest, how many emails do you guys get a day? How many of you are in the Inbox Zero Club? Probably not many of you. I know I'm not. Despite my best efforts, I'm definitely not in that club. I hope everything is going right with the software. Yes, that's right, I'm back. I think there was something over there. So let's go on. So we were talking about being in the Inbox Zero Club. I'm not in the Inbox Zero Club. I receive a lot of emails every day, and that's the case for most of us. Email is a really valuable communication tool, which is great. But the problem is today, as business owners and as marketers, we're kind of in the business of aggregating attention. You've really got to go quite far to be able to get a response from people because they're getting thousands of messages every single day. Other business owners are trying to get their attention, trying to solve their problems, and it's becoming more difficult. You're competing in an environment where there's so many other people doing the same thing. So when we go through this, we really have to think in the way that we would want to actually engage with your audience. And that's the reason why the way that we do this has a sequence. So there's a step-by-step process that we need to follow. And when we follow that sequence, it is quite human, but it's also quite dynamic. Now, I've been around this business for some time, and I'll take you through this, just kind of a bit of a context for you about who I am and what brought me here. Because I think it'd be useful and valuable to you to know exactly how I've used what I'm talking about here in my own business. So I'm the founder and CEO of carolinegilly.com, and I teach business owners and entrepreneurs how to create a powerful marketing machine that generates leads and sales so that they can live life on their terms. And it's a real passion of mine to come and speak to you about not just this subject, but really any subject when it comes to marketing and growing a business online. This is what I love doing. So as we go through this, naturally, there's going to be some things that you want to ask, And I'll happily dig into your situation so you can get the most out of this. Okay, let's talk about what we're actually going to cover here. Oh, here we go. What we're going to cover here. So first things first, when it comes to marketing, there are three key things that you need to think about. Your audience, your message, and then the media. Who is it that we're trying to market to? What is it that we're going to say to them, and how are we going to reach them? That's fairly foundational to all of marketing. And as we often forget the simplest things, it's useful to have a reminder. So that's the reason why the first thing we're going to talk about is defining your audience, actually. This is a topic that is too important and is way too often overlooked. Who is it that we are going to be marketing to when it comes to this conversion sequence? We need to be very clear about that, and we need to understand, more importantly, for those of you who have got a list, what's the segment of that list. And I'll be talking about how you break those segments down of your list, so you can get the best response from it, because not all of your unconverted leads are equal, unfortunately. And you need to be careful in your preparation of this to get the most out of it. So we're going to be defining our audience. We are also going to define our offer. What is it that we are actually going to offer these people? Depending on the type of business you have, the offer might be split into two parts. For some businesses, it might be necessary to have a conversation with a potential customer before making a sale. If that's the case, don't worry, the campaign we're going to be discussing can still be used to drive conversations. I know that there are some people, yes, I saw someone who is selling houses to first-time home buyers, so I guess in that case you would need to have a conversation before making a sale. That seems obvious, so you will be able to build your sequence with that in mind. Don't worry about it. But it's also important to remember that there are some businesses where no conversation is needed and sales happen automatically. For example, if you're an e-commerce business or you're selling things like online courses or coaching, in that case, the primary action is people buying something on their own. You can drop in the comments which category you belong to. Do people buy your product on their own, or is it necessary to have a call to make a sale? Both of these are conversion events. A call is still a conversion event, and a purchase is still a conversion event. So whatever the case is, you need to put together an offer that works for your business. For example, if you're selling a course, you might want to offer a discounted price, a super early bird offer, an early bird offer with a final deadline, something that calls them to action. You can also offer value-added bonuses if they take action before a specific time period, which adds more value to them. So the other thing we're going to talk about is actually organizing all of the offer assets. Now, the assets are the pages that you're going to take people to. We're going to break those down even if you're driving to a conversation or if you're driving to a purchase, and how you lay those out. What's the architecture of them? What are the key elements that you need to include on them? What the pages should look like? I'm going to give you some examples of those things. And next, we're going to talk about identifying the right people, organizing the assets, and getting into the details of executing the plan. The first step is what we call priming the list. This means building a relationship with people over a short period of time so we can introduce an offer to them. We don't want to just flood them with communication and spam them. Priming is all about building the relationship and setting the stage for the next logical step they need to take. Then we'll prepare the conversion sequence. Once we've identified the people who have shown interest or have been engaging with our content, we'll guide them through a conversion sequence to take action on our offer. But I also want to talk about what happens after someone makes a purchase, because it's not just about making the sale, it's also about making sure the customer is happy with their purchase and becomes a raving fan who refers their friends and family. So let me ask you a question. Have you ever bought anything because you felt compelled to? But then after you bought it, you still keep researching the thing that you bought. Have you ever done that before? Just to make sure that the thing that you bought was the thing that's the best thing, even though you researched it before you bought it. Yeah, you know, the fancy clicker. So now you just go make sure and reaffirm that the thing that you bought was actually the thing that you should have bought. Have you ever done that before? I know I have, and not just once. Well, that is called buyer's remorse, okay? And sometimes buyer's remorse can happen and show up in all sorts of different ways. So there are all sorts of factors and things that can happen once you've actually bought something. In our time together, I'll also explain to you how you can actually remove or control buyer's remorse and actually increase the likelihood that somebody will become a raving fan and actually refer you. Whether it's getting referrals from your customers or once they actually make a purchase from you, maybe they become affiliates. All right. And we'll also be covering how to deliver and delight customers. But it's not just about one campaign. It's about finding messaging and offers that works, that you can repeat time and time again. So the sequence that you'll be building with me during this week, you will be able to use it as a framework to build other sequences for different projects you may have. And whether you have an advanced automation system or not, you can still use the techniques I'll be teaching you. You just need to follow the right steps in the right order to get the best results. The reason this type of campaigns, hey, something going on. Let me know if you can see me. Something happened again. Here we go. Okay, I think we are live. So what I was saying is the reason this type of campaign, sequence, and strategy is important is because turning leads into customers and turning customers into repeat customers and raving fans is actually the lifeblood of your business. It doesn't matter where you are in your business journey. If you do all of this right, you'll be in good shape. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level, you're in the right place. Let's get started. So, who am I, by the way? Why am I here talking to you about this stuff? And so, my experience with what we're talking about today is going to be helpful to you, but just to share a bit of insight to me, because some of you don't know who I am, I'll share with you. Obviously, the most important part first, the family. So this is me and my partner, Sam, and Cassandra and Gabrielle, my kids. They are 14 and 10. I thought the picture was younger. So they are 14 and 10 today. And just so you get to know me a little bit better, we've been together with my partner for 26 years. Don't try to guess my age, please. And a little bit about my story. I started studying English to become an English teacher, actually, in France. But then I decided I love the language so much, too much, to spend time teaching it to kids who wouldn't care about it. So that's the truth. I must say it. And there you go. Now you know why I speak English. So then I went to the university, and after 3 years in English in France and 1 year at the University of Memphis, Tennessee, I switched to online marketing. I learned everything about managing businesses online and project management. I started my first company 15 years ago. I would build websites for companies, do SEO, and even write blog posts for all kinds of industry. And then in 2016, I became a HubSpot partner agency and got certified in inbound marketing, inbound sales, and growth-driven design. Since then, I've also been certified in social ads. So I just love all things marketing. But working with big companies was not the best path for me, so I decided to focus on business owners and entrepreneurs so that I could feel closer to the people I was working with. I love doing it, and it's great to be able to help people. So I've consulted and been hired for really what I'm talking to you about today. So you're in a great place. I'm just giving you what I've given to my clients here. So here I am again. The goal of this workshop is to take you through a proven campaign and sequence that primes, converts, and delights customers. It doesn't matter where you are in your business journey. Whether you're a solopreneur or an established business, every business has an opportunity. You believe you can help people, solve problems, and add value, and that's what creates your business. The difference between businesses that achieve double-digit yearly profitable growth every single year and those that struggle to grow is that they know they have a great opportunity just like you, but their capability to take advantage of that opportunity is higher. When we talk about capability, it's about increasing your ability to match your opportunity, and when you do that, your business will grow exponentially. So my little word of wisdom to you here is to think about this when you're going through this campaign, okay? Think about the capabilities that you need, and the great news is with the checklist and the templates that are accessible in the group and in your daily emails, I'm giving you as many of those capabilities. Just checking everything is right once again. I think Facebook is having some issue with me. I think we're good. I just want to make sure that you don't miss a thing. So just want to make sure I'm live with you. Okay. We were talking about capabilities and the fact that you will have access to templates and checklists inside the group and in your emails. But something important. One of those capabilities is to use the thing that we have between our ears and to get the results with. Okay, so you really already have some of that capabilities. So make sure that you use it to get the best results. So commit to that, to doing that. So I'm going to bring my A game, if Facebook will let me, with the streaming, really. But don't worry, you will get access to the replay anyway. If there is anything wrong during the live streaming, tonight you will receive an email with the link to the replay page. So don't worry, everything will be fine for you. I'm making sure. I think that's okay. So if Facebook will let me, I'm going to bring my A game, and I hope it will let me. And in turn, of course, I want you to do the same as well, which I think is fair. So, ready to get into the mix? All right. So you've probably already heard of marketing funnels, sales funnels, and different sequences from other people. And there's a lot of great information out there. But if you've ever felt overwhelmed, frustrated or tired because there's so much information, but you don't know what to do and in what order, I've got you covered. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever had all of these ideas and then you start sketching them out on a whiteboard, but it's difficult to know exactly how to execute them? That's where your capabilities don't match your opportunity. There's a big opportunity for you, but your capabilities are a bit lower, so you can't get the results you want. I've been there too. So we have to start with the only place to start, which is with the end in mind. We have to figure out where we ultimately want to take people. And then we have to reverse engineer the process. Start thinking about this conversion campaign that we're putting together. What do you want to happen? We'll get into the details later, but start thinking about it. What do you actually want from this campaign? Because we should always know how we're going to sell before we start lead generation. And this is very important. We always hear people talk about having a huge email list, but if you don't have a system, a sequence, you're not going to do very much with that list. Now, often a lot of people talk about lead generation, like you run Facebook advertising traffic, you send them your content, you remarket them back to a lead magnet, you capture the lead information, and then you follow up with them. You try and get them to buy a low-end offer. You try to ascend them. That's all very well and very good. That's a great strategy. And it works wonder, actually. If you want to know how to generate leads that you will then send through the sequence we are building, stay tuned because we will definitely talk about it. But it's important to first think about what we want to have happen and what assets we already have. This workshop is about taking those assets and generating interest from our existing list of people too, which is called internal lead generation. So we're generating interest inside of our existing list, and this is about taking what we already have and generating interest for them. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Something with the frame rate that's causing problems here. Okay. Oh, this is the internet connection. I need to work on this. It will be better tomorrow. So that makes sense to you, that you need to generate interest for the people that are already on your list. It's leveraging what we already have, reaffirming who we are, what we do, how we can help, and providing value in advance, priming them, and then getting them to take action. And this is a tool you can use as you continue to grow your list. It will convert your audience. And you probably have had this feeling as a consumer of other people's marketing that called you to action. There was not just the message, but it was the right time. The recency and the frequency was right of their messaging. And that emails to you in order for you to take action. It was more behavioral, it was more dynamic, and for some reason, you decided to take action. You might not know why. It was because there was a perfect storm of all these things coming together. Most people are like pray and pray while hoping we eat some stuff. And the worst case is actually when those people get results. And sometimes getting results is great. They think they did a great job, but they can never ever market to those people again because they just spammed everybody. It's just not going to work. There's a relationship equity that you have with them, okay? And the moment that we increase frequency, we need to be a lot more aware and conscious over what we're doing to that relationship, okay? So every time that we send an email or communication, we pretty much erode, regardless of the message, a small part of our relationship with them, right? So before we talk about the content that's inside of the email, because remember, they haven't bought from you. They're on your list, but they haven't bought from you yet. There's a reason why, okay? Now, becoming laser targeted with the content that's inside of that message, we can once again build relationship equity. So we actually erode it first, and then we gain it again. And the idea is that we continue to gain relationship equity with them, and then it affords us the opportunity to make an offer at a timely point. That makes sense. Okay. So we actually go negative first before we can become positive. When you're not targeted and focused, you erode the relationship equity, and then you continue to erode it. And you wonder why your open rates go down, your engagement goes down, your overall availability goes down. And then people start struggling with the fact that their list isn't the size of the list they think it is. Okay? Because I'm sure you've heard this as well. You would assume people with big lists make the most money. So, I'm sure you heard it. The money is in the list. Well, when it comes to building your email list, it's important to remember that just because you have a big list doesn't necessarily mean that all of those people are engaged with your content. Often, people tell you how big their lists are as a way of telling you how big their business is. The truth is, they don't have a clue how many of those people are actually engaged. They believe that they are all marketable, which they are. They're all marketable. They opted in, you have permission to market to them. But they are not opening emails. They are definitely not clicking them. If they're not opening them, let alone consuming your content, they don't know, okay? They don't know. Just last week I saw a post saying, learn the framework that's generated 200,000 and more qualified leads for his business. I mean, come on! What does this mean? How far can we go? How far should a hook go to get people's attention? Just a huge number to impress people, but absolutely no context and nothing about actual sales. These numbers don't mean anything anymore. Well, I'll we stop there before I get angry at all those absurd claims. Really, it's driving me crazy. So, let's go back to our topic. It's crucial to focus on creating positive experiences for your audience and building a strong relationship with them. This way, when it comes time to make an offer, you'll have what you need to make an offer to them. So, you'll have their trust, you'll have their engagement. And as your business grows, this will help prevent deliverability issues. You know, I'm French. Because as your list becomes bigger, then we can start to run into deliverability issues of the people that are really good, which is a problem. So we really need to be mindful of this idea of this relationship equity. So as we work through this workshop, let's keep in mind our ultimate goal for where we want to take our audience and focus on a specific segment to really drive results. That's the reason why I believe these extraordinary results are directly determined by how narrow you make your focus. That's why when we're going to get into the who, we want to be very clear. So, where do we ultimately want to take people? Remember, beginning with the end in mind, okay? We need to consider where we want to take people. So for example, it might be generating a sale for an online course, okay? So we need to be found. Where do we want to take people? That's the end point. Now, this is really the conversion. The start point is how do we get the party started and to who? How do we get people in there? And we'll get into the finer details of this because most of you use some sort of delivery mechanism that you use a delivery platform. You probably use something like Infusionsoft. You may be using ConvertKit. There are all sorts of email providers, but they are all pretty much the same. They simply allow you to deliver. So just to make sure, who here has a delivery platform, a way of communicating? Tell me in the comments. If you need anything, I can give you a link. I personally use ConvertKit. So you can share what it is that you have, just so that everybody else knows and might try it if they need it as well. So I personally use ConvertKit. I used to work with MailChimp and I've moved to ConvertKit. So we've got ActiveCampaign, we've got MailChimp. My advice to you would be to decide and pick one. It could be a free one, actually. It could be completely free, like MailChimp. They have a free option there. You would set yourself up for success by having a delivery platform of some sort as we execute this campaign, really. Okay. So we just covered an overview of some of the foundation of how we should think about marketing and campaigns in general. This is very important because it will define the way you will build your sequence. And just for today, we will stop there for today because I really want you to think about it and get in the right mindset. And you should also pick an email provider if you don't have one. So now is the time for the Q&A. So if you have any question, drop them in the comments. You can also obviously use the group to get feedback from everybody and ask your question. If you're watching the replay, then you can ask all your questions either in the comment or in the Facebook group, and I will answer them in the live training tomorrow anyway. So go ahead, just ask anything that you need. I will make sure that the live streaming is working fine. I will send you the link to the recap page too, so that you can watch it whenever you need and get the feedback you need. Okay, so that's it for today. This was a great training, and once again, thank you for joining us here during this live. And one more thing, you can share your first email sequence email of the sequence in the group to get feedback from us. I will read everything in the group and give you feedback so you can work on it as much as you need, and you have the perfect sequence by the end of the 5 days. There you go. Have a nice day. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll be talking about how to target and segment your list for maximum results. See you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Bye bye.